Welcome to Attic Vision. I'm Medusa. In this episode, we'll be talking about the Manitou. Both the movie and the book. So the Manitou is a 1978 horror flick. Manitou was released by Charter Entertainment, one of my favorite VHS labels, directed by William Girdler, based off of the 1976 novel by the same name, The Manitou. The book was rumored to have been written in less than 2 weeks' time, and it was Masterson's first horror novel. There's actually an intro to the book, which isn't common for this type of novel, and it basically says that what you're about to read is absolutely insane, and you have to be ready for some crazy stuff. There is a sequel novel called Revenge of the Manitou. It was published in 1979. I've yet to read. Masterson ended up writing over 35 horror novels over the span of his career. William Girdler directed The Manitou. He co-wrote the screenplay based off of the novel as well. Girdler was somewhat of a B-movie genius. His works include 3 on a Meat Hook from 1976, he was only 25, as well as Abby from 1974, which Warner actually sued him over for being too close of a ripoff to The Exorcist. He also did Grizzly in 1976 and Day of the Animals in 1977. This was kind of supposed to be his real breakout movie. Unfortunately, he was in a tragic helicopter accident and died. After the movie was completed, but before it was released, he was only 30 years old. He accomplished so much in a small amount of time. He himself actually described the Manitou in an interview as being a cross between The Exorcist and Star Wars: A New Hope. He was very proud of the movie. It had a pretty decent budget and was actually pretty well received. So the script was adapted straight from the novel. It was filmed in California. It stars Tony Curtis as Harry Erskine. Tony Curtis has been in like 500 things, including Rosemary's Baby. And Susan Strasberg as Karen Tandy. Susan Strasberg has also been in like 200 things. Some notable works to the horror community that she's been in include Bloody Birthday from 1981, Sweet 16 from 1985, Scream of Fear from 1961, and a few episodes of Rod Serling's Night Gallery. So let's get into the Manitou. Karen Tandy has a huge tumor growing on the back of her neck. The story pretty much opens with everyone being completely baffled as to what is on the back of her neck and why it's growing at such a ridiculous rate. They're immediately like, this looks like a fetus. What? Harry Erskine is a medium tarot card psychic dude who may be a total fraud, but he puts on a total show and plays up the whole image to impress his regular little old lady clients. His character is introduced in the movie with an absurd reading and then a dance with a beer scene. Karen gives him a call to meet up so she can obviously tell him about what's going on with her neck and to express her unease about the whole thing. This whole setup in the book is quite different. The novel is actually told pretty much completely from Harry's perspective, and the two have never previously met. Karen actually makes an appointment for some spiritual advice, and she becomes one of Harry's clients. This is the first time that they meet in the book. In the movie, they have a history. I feel as though the movie did this to make Harry's actions a bit more believable, and also because movies just have to have some sort of love interest. It also lets the script kind of cut to the chase in some areas where the book had to explain things quite thoroughly. So anyways, after explaining to Harry what's up in the movie, they spend the night together. There's no sex scene, but Karen does start reciting things in her sleep in another language. This allows Harry to later connect everything that's going on with Karen to the supernatural. So the next day, he takes her back to the hospital where she's supposed to have a surgery to remove the growth. Of course, the surgery goes horribly wrong. The surgeon just about lops off his hand, being willed by an unseen force.
He's gonna cut himself.
It doesn't exactly go down in the book like this, but it's pretty exciting in the movie. Now, while this whole thing in the hospital is happening, back at Harry's, he's getting on with regular business, and one of his little old biddies swing by for some tarot time. She becomes possessed by a spirit, starts reciting the same things that Karen was reciting in her sleep. before floating down the hallway and throwing herself down some stairs. Which also does happen in the book, believe it or not. This part in the movie is not exaggerated at all. This scene also serves as the quick connection thing that I was talking about, where the script is able to cut out lengths of the book to connect things, which actually works. In the book, there are several more conversations and some crazy dreams. After all of this craziness, Harry quickly just moves past it and goes to the hospital. He goes to Karen's doctor and basically tries to convince him that there's some black magic happening. The fetus in Karen's neck is a 400-year-old Native American medicine man, and he's being reborn, and it's totally not cool. Then Karen has a crazy freak out. And just like that, the doc is pretty much convinced that it's magic and not science. Now, since the doctors believe this whole medicine man fetus theory, they're like, well, we've x-rayed the hell out of this, so we've mutated it and we've totally made a monster. All well, Harry decides that a seance would be a good idea and calls upon an actual psychic to help him out. And this is where some crazy stuff starts happening. So Karen's neck is about to give birth, and at this point Harry is rushing around trying to find a medicine man that will help him to fight off this evil. And when he finally does and they get back to the hospital, things really get wild. Now, the last 35-ish minutes of the movie is the entire second half of the book. Obviously, the book covers a lot more ground, it's way more involved, and there is a whole lot going on. These crazy events that take place at the hospital are absolutely ridiculous. The birthing scene is described quite differently in the book, but both are effective. In the book, he's described as more mutated. He has club feet and these crazy mutated legs. I figure that in real life movie casting, the best they could do was a little guy.
Storm Manitou, hold Miss Marcus, hold the circle,
and go from there. The skin stripping scene.
Miss Marcus, invoke the spirit of the body and strip him of his skin.
Is in the book as well, along with some other things that didn't get adapted that would have been pretty cool. In the book, there's this whole give him the flu theory. A lot more people die. He like debones people and then uses their bones as a paintbrush. And the whole spaced out Karen is a vessel thing. That doesn't happen in the book. The end of the book is pretty different than the end of the movie. It's much more complicated. There are different monster gods and way more going on. Both the movie and the book have crazy fun endings. I do prefer the one in the book. The Manitou in either form is total insanity, and I recommend both to absolutely everyone who could possibly want to watch a movie or read a book like this. Because I believe everyone should be able to read and see this masterpiece, I'm going to be giving away both of these, as well as a hat just like the one I'm wearing from Media Crypt, which I've linked below if you want to check out a shop for some amazing VHS related merch. In order to be eligible for the giveaway, you have to subscribe, so hit that little red button, and follow me on Instagram because that's where I will announce and contact the winner. I'll be throwing up a post with the full details and a chance at an extra entry tomorrow. So the day after this goes live, I'll be posting everything about the giveaway in an individual post. Let me know what you think of the Manitou if you've seen it, and if you have any titles in mind that you'd like me to feature. I'm Medusa. and you've just watched Attic Vision.